This is Double Trouble. She's a 582 Katana, built in 2001. She's hull number 6. You can see the integrated front beam and bowsprit. The earlier boats had that. Some of the older boats, they started making them in 2 pieces. I guess it was easier to make. On our last haul out, Double Trouble had all of her striping and cute little globe replaced. Trying to keep her up nice. Sorry about the ugly water here. We got that green stuff. You can see the center board, the dagger board. It's fairly tall. The bottom of it is flush with the bottom of the hull, and what you see up can go down. We can draw about 11 feet. Makes it go upwind really well. The water you see there is air conditioning, cooling. And as we come back to the back of the boat, you can see the helm stations. The 582s had these bigger seats and nicer helm stations. We'll get to those later. You can see the steps down to the water. There's a boarding ladder on the other side. And you can see the tender. It's a nice Novarania 430, I believe, with a 60 horse. And you can see the tender lift. The 582s had a lift, not davits. Well, we'll go up the ramp here and go on board. We're up on the starboard hull. This cabin you see right here is another one. It's actually a cabin. We call it the skipper's cabin. There's a double bed down there and a toilet and a shower. This locker is where we put the sails. There's a nice spinnaker up there, an A-kite. You can see the trampoline. It's a bit of a mess. We've ordered a new one. It'll be replaced. The reacher is not on the boat right now. Just came back from the sailmaker, and the jib's rigged. This big long locker and the one on the other side have fuel tanks in them. I believe this side has the bridles under it, and the other side has mooring lines. You can see the windows are quite big and nice. The mast is huge. We have 4 halyards here. These 2 are spinnakers, and these 2 are the front headsails. And underneath this locker and the one in front of it are access to the anchors. And there's a nice hose down here that can be either saltwater or fresh. It's about 50 feet long. We'll go up the steps here. You can see the boom is really wide. The sail just lays it, goes right into it. The older boats got a much cheaper boom. Got a nice Dodger here. There are 4 solar panels. Each panel's 245 watts each, so you almost have a kilowatt of solar. You can walk on them, but I wouldn't jump on them. See the very end of the boom, outhauls and reefing lines coming up. Nice view of the dinghy from up here. Just don't jump. On the other side, you can see a helm station and a little mini tower, which has a TrackVision TV antenna on it. The next antenna is an AIS antenna, and then lastly there's a XM weather antenna. Here we are inside the salon and walking out into the back cockpit of Double Trouble. We've got a couple chairs that are usually around the table, but I've moved them. Give you kind of an idea and feel for it. The boat has a number of displays out here to show what's going on. Usually these 2 2020s have wind speed and boat speed, but you can make them just about anything you want. Lots of seating. We'll start. It's got a nice table. See, we got a couple chairs. We can either move inside or out. The table has a nice cover, which I pulled back. And in French fashion, we have another wine rack. Anyway, it's kind of cute. The Dodger up here can be opened so that you can get air to go through, or closed if it's raining. Most of the sailing that goes on back here centers around most of these winches. Let's start with a big one in the middle. You'll notice that it's got a bunch of stoppers. This is a 3-speed hydraulic winch. You'll find that these 3 lines go down under the boat, come up, and go to the end of the boom on the aft reefing lines. These 3 in the front do the same thing, but they're the forward reefing lines. And not to be outdone, the main halyard, the topping lift, the outhaul, and the jib sheet. We have 2 main sheets and only 1 jib sheet. The jib is a self-tacker. By having 2 main sheets, it allows us to have this big utility winch that does a lot of the work for us. We've got nice deep lockers to put the ropes into. Similar configuration over here. We come over here to this one. Well, let's go to the helm station. In the helm station, we have an autopilot head in the middle, 2 general purpose displays, some analog displays, the 2020s, and 3 winches on each side. This winch runs the reacher. You can see its sheets here, well inside the shroud. Unfortunately, she's just got back from the sailmaker. Over here is the spinnaker winch. You see the turning block for it. It's again it's a 3-speed winch. And last but not least is this little utility winch. She's a 2-speeder. This line raises and lowers the centerboard. This is a spinnaker guy. There's one on the other side also. And this particular line rolls up the jib. The same setup on the other side, except the black line rolls up the reacher. They're, like I said, all hydraulic. Kind of nice. We store all the ropes down there. They're in pretty good shape. Helm station can usually seat 2. Depends on how big they are. We have these shades. I don't have the ones on the side, but these roll down and clip to here. You can see through them, but it really cuts down the sun. Same thing on this side. See the same 3 winches. And this is the helm cover. There's throttles for the engines on both sides. And up here you can see the engine start controls. Usually if we're maneuvering, we're at this helm station. Dinghy in our lift. Stairs go down to the water. And let's go in an engine room. It's not as pretty as the rest of the boat, but it's nice. There's the main engine. These 2 white boxes are refrigeration compressors. There's a pair of them, which is kind of nice. If something fails, if one of them fails, you still have 2. This big transformer here is an isolation transformer. Stuff for the fuel and the water maker. Some big tubes. This unit is in maintenance mode right now. Once a week she back flushes the system to keep the coils moist. Back here, quadrant, you can see the boat uses rope to steer. And this is the main ram for the autopilot. So they go around pulleys, come up here. It's a really nice system. It's very sensitive. You turn one wheel, the other one turns. This is the water pump in an accumulator tank. And some various electronics up here. This is the main grill. Anyway, it's a nice Sovereign grill. Should have taken the cover off. We'll go down in here. The only difference on this side is the generator. So the generator's on this side, and the water maker and the air conditioning on the other. See the water pump? In fact, it's actually running. And one thing I didn't show you on the other side, underneath this seat, there's all the hydraulics and pumps for the hydraulic winches. There's one on each side. These are all the bilge pumps and the shower pumps. Relatively easy to work on. Start battery. There's the tuner, single sideband. And as we climb out, we're back in the cockpit again. I've opened up one of these hatches. You can see they're fairly deep. You can put all kinds of stuff in here. You can see our third fuel tank. I got most of my cleaning supplies and oil on this side of the boat, in this hatch, and this latch, and this locker. And then you can see those all control the fuel from all the tanks. Just on all three engines, and the ones before it only run engines. So, I'm going to show you Double Trouble's dinghy. We have a name for her. She's No Trouble. Hopefully that's the way she works out. She's on a lift. You can see part of the lift here. And we're going to go into the boat. She's a Novarania 430, which means she's about 14 feet long in American numbers. She has a nice package of, let's turn it on. These Yamahas come with a nice tack and fuel package, bunch of switches, a nice VHF radio, and down over here, a nice fusion system. There's speakers in the back, and some speakers up front, anchor locker. It's a pretty nice dinghy. It also has a real nice bimini. And down we go. The dinghy is controlled by this lift. It'll take a few minutes to get us down. Maybe I better go up a little. Get her back in her chocks. You can see that there's big lever arms and two huge hydraulic lifting arms, and it gives you a good idea of what it looks like underneath Double Trouble. Now, inside of this panel is the big pulley assembly that runs the lines forward. They're underneath this big structure. It helps stiffen the bridge deck. You can see the boat's pretty tall off the water. In fact, if you were to take this bimini off, you could sneak this dinghy up underneath the boat. Kind of cool. I'm not going to go dinghy riding today, but this is No Trouble and our friendly lift. Oops, up, wrong way. As we come up on the lift, I'd like to point out that there's a switch here to let it down. There's a switch under here on the boat, and there's also a nice remote that lets you put the tender back up once the boat's been launched into the water, and also lets you lower her when you want to get her back again. This is the salon of Double Trouble. You can see we just came in through the door. They've got the galley here. I'll just pan around a bit. Got most of the lights on. You can see the nav station up forward. A nice huge couch. Entertainment system. And a TV. I've closed the doors to the lower hatches so you can see what they look like. That's the master cabin. Port forward and port aft. I'll show you that in a minute. This interior was redone about 6 years ago, and I think they did a pretty good job. The interior was designed by a design house called Caligo in France. Most of the first 582s were Caligo design. It's got this nice curved look to it. It's a nice layout. One of our favorite things about the way this was laid out is the galley is up and towards the back. And that's important because the party or the entertainment or the fun is going to happen back here in the cabin and inside here. And if you need to come in and get something in the galley, all you got to do is put it outside that way. It makes you feel like you're part of the crew, not part of the fun crew, not part of the people serving. Let's go through the galley. We'll start at the beginning here. We have a Miele dishwashing machine. It's a real nice dishwasher, although we usually use it for storage. It's got racks. It's a real nice dishwasher. Off to that is the refrigerator. The refrigerator is 200 liters. It has 2 doors. You can see here we've got some champagne and some smaller drawers. This allows us to put really tall stuff in this side. The other side has bigger drawers for bigger stuff. Got lots of storage here. This is a spice rack, glasses, all kinds of things. There's all the coffee cups and bowls. See, we've got some knives, a nice toaster, a really nice microwave. It's a standard one you'd get in your house. Fits right in here real nice. And this is the freezer. Freezer is 100 liters. Oh, someone left some goose down there. This is a real nice freezer. In addition, there's another 100-liter freezer in the port bow. The oven and stove are right here. We replaced this about 3 or 4 years ago. It's a 3-burner Force 10. A nice oven broiler. Storage, pots and pans. Pretty big work area up here and 2 nice sinks. These faucets, the first one is just water. The second one is water straight out of the water maker. The water maker is in the port engine room, excuse me, the starboard engine room, and its output is brought up to a couple of valves underneath the sink here. And if you turn one valve on, it'll send the water to the port tank, the other valve to the starboard tank, and if you leave them both off, it comes out here. So you can fill up jugs with pure water. And last but not least, we have a filtered water system. Lots of places of storage, forks and things. And last but not least is the trash. It's accessible down here. You got a pretty big bucket down there to put them in and put the stuff in. Works out real nice. We come around to the front here. We've got one of 4 wine racks. Yeah, more Viv. Small liquor cabinet here. Lots of places to put stuff. Down this way is the port aft. I've closed all the doors so you can see how it locks up. The door we're looking at right now is into the bedroom. The other one is into the port aft head. And those silver things, there's a pantry down here. It's real nice for keeping stuff. I like the fact that the nav station faces forward. This is a real nice layout. The kitchen's where it should be aft, and the navigation is forward. We run on a PC. Right now the display is running Rose Point's Coastal Explorer software. In fact, the little red dot you can see is us. Over here is a backup chart plotter. It's a Garmin. We also use it for the radar display. Above that is an 802 ICOM single sideband radio. It's very good, useful for getting weather in the middle of nowhere. And over here on top, this display is a general purpose display. For instance, it's showing our speed, which is 0 right at the moment, and our depth. Below it is the autopilot. Here, let's light them up a little bit. Maybe we can see them better. And this allows you to control the direction of the boat from inside the boat. Over here we have the VHF radio, and it also has another head out on the starboard helm station and a couple of analog displays. A nice light that you can grab quickly. This works well for storing things. Sorry for the mess. And last but not least, in the nav station we have a handheld that's sitting on a charger. If we come over to this lovely couch we have, as you can see, it's fairly big. It can seat a lot of people. And we have some chairs that we put around here. We can very easily have 8 people at this table. We have 4 double cabins. We can sleep 8 people, and we can feed 8 people. The air conditioner ducts, 2 big ones, keep it fairly cool in here. I've put these down because it gets a little bright, but we have these 4 big hatches that you can open up, and it runs a lot of air through here. There's lots of storage underneath the couch. So you've got a few things here. The main batteries are underneath here, and all the manuals are under here. I hope I got them all. This basket has a remote for the anchor. You can use that to walk all the way to the bow to bring the anchor up. You can see a nice little book rack. My sextant, it'll probably stay with me. A printer, which we found very useful on a boat. And my wife loves her coffee. This is the entertainment system. The bottom is a Bose 15 Lifestyle 15 system. It's surround sound. There's one of the speakers. There's another. There's another over there in the galley. One over by the nav station. And one over by the bookshelf. On top of that, on top of the Lifestyle, is the hub controller for the DirecTV KVH TV5 antenna. Next to it is a Sirius radio hub, and that little black thing is for Bluetooth. It's very useful for playing music. There are speakers in here and 2 outside. You can see the main power panel. I've got a lot of things turned on here for the navigation. I just turned on the anchor light. We don't need it. Almost everything can be turned on from here. Most of the AC functions are here. It's a battery monitor. This red flashing light is the electrical energy coming out of each of the engine rooms. Batteries are full now, so the solar's not doing anything. You have the holding tanks, fuel tanks. There's 3 of them, and 2 water tanks. By the liquor storage. The television is about the biggest one I could get up here, and there is a Blu-ray player below it. There's a TV downstairs we'll show you later. We're here at the panel, and on the way out of the salon area, you can see the controls for the generator, and below it are the controls for the water maker. There is a duplicate control for the generator on the generator itself. 4 steps down. Give you a general overview here. 2 big windows. A queen size bed. We can walk around both sides, or at least 2 sides of the bed. We have a television. Another Blu-ray player, and there's the controller for the DirecTV. Couple fans, reading lights. There's plenty of storage under this bed, like all the beds. Have a small vanity area here. Sit down and get ready. I have some big hanging closets over in here. This one's a little full. Just take a look back. We're looking aft. Lots of lights. You can even see the little accent lights we have down along the floor and up the stairs. Let's check out the head. It's your own little private room. It's got a nice electric toilet. Place to put things. And then back here where we can clean up. The shower is a really nice shower. Enclosed and everything. I guess you can see me. Big medicine cabinet, double sinks, got an air conditioning unit in here. Can use this one for towels and things. This one is a hamper. Medical equipment in there. Lots of storage down here below. It's a real nice bathroom. Got plenty of room for 2 people to get ready. Places for people to sit. Big hanging closets, nice separate head. We're going to go down into the port aft guest room. We come down the stairs. We do pass by the pantry. Not much in here now, but it's a nice pantry for storing dry goods and things. Let's go into the bedroom. Bedroom has its own privacy door, a regular door. Hanging closets. There's some regular closets. We're storing some stuff down here. A nice little vanity area. Once again, a little stool flops out. Place to store things. Its own air conditioning system. Thank God it's on. It's hot out here today. This bed is, as it's configured now, is a king-size bed. If we flip that up and this pulls out and we can put it underneath one of these 2 beds, there's a lot of storage under the beds, it will become 2 singles. Great if you have children or lots of crew. Up we go. We're looking at the port guest room, port forward guest room. Down we go in it. I've got the bed not made up. I'll change that in a second. You can see the kind of storage we have down here. I've got most of my spare parts underneath here. Nice closets, big hanging closet. This particular room has, there's the door from the inside. It's very private, and you have your own private bathroom. Other electric toilet, lots of storage, nice medicine cabinet, small sink, extra storage down here. It's a nice, cozy guest room. We're now in what we call the skipper's cabin. It enters through this hatch up here. In fact, well, the sun's too bright. It's a fairly small room, cozy. It's got a nice bed for hopefully 2 people who like each other. Cabinets below. Once again, a head. This one is the only manual head on the boat. You can see closet space, Nice sink. And various things here. And then a drain for the shower. We're about to enter the forward storage locker. You can see the bowsprit. So we're way up on the port bow. It's a little crowded down here, but you can see here's extra chairs. It's a pretty good sized locker. We have a lot of swimming toys. You can see one of the blow-up fenders, and there's the extra freezer that we have up here. It's 100 liter. It's very useful for long-range cruising, and a lot of this are spare ropes. This is a great place to keep the toys. And some of the, we have some interesting sail covers that we can put up while we're at anchor or while we're underway to make shade. And these blow-up fenders are really nice. And if you want to go swimming, grab a noodle.